Hi, today I'll be showing you the ABB simulation. In here I have the following. We have a work table, work object, which is defined within our table. Then we have the targets, so home targets, all targets from initial PO. We also have the target from 10 to 390, which defines the auto path. Then we have the V target down here. We can have a look at the paths, each one separately, by going into the paths and procedures and paths and graphs. Let's run those. You can see calculate, and it goes. Please note that the tip is defined so that it suits the real life condition. In this case, the tip model is bigger than the actual tip in real life, therefore the tip endpoint had to be modified to suit that curve. We can do the same for the O path. Initialize the home, do its pattern, and yeah, and it goes back to home position again. As you can see, we also have the V path. Now let's have a look at the rapid. Here we have the main procedure. We have the two functions, the set path, set zone. Then we have the get path procedure and get path O, path B, V, and then path graphics. Our first, if we run the code, just set that back to normal, run. As you see, you have an option then that you can choose from. Let's say you want to set the speed, you can then change that and the options will pop up of what speed do you want to set to. Let's go there so we visualize that. Open that again. Let's say we want to run on V50. As you can see, it tells you that we set it to 50. We can change the zone. Let's start with fine. As you can see, and then we can do draw path. If we decide to do the V, draw V path, as you can see, the robot then goes to its original position, does its thing, moving around, and back home. We can then go back to that. If we want to set at different values, we can then change the set values, and let's say set speed to V10, V100, and maybe to change the zone to Z150. We can then draw the V path again, and you can see the movement is much faster and with a lot more rounder. We can also try that on the O path. As you can see, since it's circular shape, we only see a difference on the exit and inwards. So we can go back and then we can also exit that, and it sets a parameter back. So let's have a look at the code for this. What I first did was I created a while loop so that we work within the program until we otherwise press the X parameter. We then have the TP read function. This questions the user what to input, so set speed, set zone, draw path, or the X. Then we have saved those into the registry 1 or reg 1 in this case, So we then ask the system what reg position it is in. So in this case, if the person clicked set zone, the value would be 3 due to it being counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, this value 3 gets saved into the reg. Then in this bit here, it asks us, oh, we click on 3, so let's go to zone. In this case, then it sends that to a function, zone function. What the function does, in difference from the procedure, is procedure does not return any parameter, it just follows through non-stop. I like to think of it as a gotta do some movements on the actual arm, while the function returns something. In this case, if you want to do some string manipulation or set different values and always return those, then you can save those parameters outside. So we then go to get zone. In the get zone, it then asks you to set a parameter for zone. In this case, fine, Z10, Z50, Z100, Z150. Again, it does the same thing as did previously, asking am I on 1, 2, or 3, or 4, 5 position. Depending on the solution, it then saves that into the Z data, which is initialized at the top here as a fine. That Z data gets returned. That then gets passed on to the main function, saves that into the Z, which is initialized on top here, as you can see. This is just initializes as fine. The actual fixed function values for them is that one. Those values then gets passed on to the function. Let's say it then questions you again. What do we wanna do next? Once we click draw, for instance, that information gets passed on to the get path procedure. That passes these S and the Z variables into it. If we go to the get path, again it questions you on what path do you want to draw. We have a while loop here, so that once the procedure finishes, it comes back to this same bit here. We then have the going back option, which just literally ends the program. In this case, it does not do anything other than makes this true and exit the while loop. The registration for these values get reset back to 0. In this case here, that would then not if this was not there, it would cause the reg data to be 5 for the next time we come back if we need to. Now if it's initialized to 0, it then gets back into the while loop, otherwise it wouldn't. In this case here, once we selected path V, in this for example, path V gets passed the data for the speed and the zone, which was passed on previously as an S and a Z to the procedure. This sends the information to, in this case here, V there, and then passes it on to the right move accordingly. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.